town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
All right. All right. Welcome. My name is 12 Gauge. I am your host, and this is 12 Gauge Investigative. I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening, and I hope that your weekend is going well and things are going pretty smoothly for you. You know, tonight I wanted to change the pace a little bit, and many of you may or may not watch this because of the title, but I can tell you it's a side of society that many don't ever see. And the reason that I chose it to talk about is because of the lifestyle that it possesses. You get entrapped in this lifestyle either by working it. I've known hundreds of dancers. I've experienced the lifestyle when I was younger. I would, practically live in the strip clubs. Because whenever you're going through a process in your life and you feel that you're lost and you are without hope in a lot of areas, you're looking for people that are faking it to make it, to try to lift you up a little bit. And believe it or not, I met a lot of good people along the way. At one particular point, I was even thinking about writing a book on the experiences of dancers. And, you know, I've met a lot of them and I've heard a lot of stories. And, some of the stories that you hear, most of them are going through school, they're financing this or they're financing that. I'm not saying that that's not right. That's not true. But, a lot of them were fighting an addiction to numerous things. There were some of them that were fighting toxic relationships, trying to break free of their addictions or even creating new ones that they didn't even realize how quickly they'd be overtaken by those. It's a world where, as glamorous as it looks with all the makeup, all the costumes, all the music, all the lights, once you hop off the stage, real life begins and people don't know how to separate the stage person with the real person sometimes, and it becomes so entangled that they mess up their lives really quickly and very drastically. Once again, my purpose in showing this is not to glorify any kind of nudity or anything like that, because as adults, we've seen, women's bodies, and we've seen, I don't know how many of you have actually been in a strip club, but you're not going to see any nudity in this. So I hate to burst your bubble, but it does collaborate the lifestyles of these young women and their struggles. So let's go ahead and begin. Hello, Paula. Hello, Rondi. How are y'all doing?
I've heard that strippers are crazy, strippers are drug addicts, and strippers are all prostitutes, and that dancing or stripping is not a real job when it really is. My name is Maureen, and my stage name is China Doll. I've been dancing for a little over 15 years. I started dancing because I had a young child and I was 18 years old. I definitely consider personally dancing part of my identity because I've been doing it for so long. And on the East Coast, it's part of the culture over there. So a lot of people who go out, they know me to be that entertainer. Outside of the club, I love being the mom in the house, the woman in the house. I have 3 daughters. Jalen is 17, Chloe is 15, and Giselle is 8. I definitely consider myself a nurturing mom with the animals that we have here, my children, my boyfriend, everyone here, every living thing here is a family member. And my duty every single day is to take care of them from the moment I wake up. Dancing has changed me in a way where it's helped me to grow as a person, and it's helped me to grow as a mom, and it's helped me to grow as a woman. It's given me independence, and it's given me freedom to go to work and make cash instead of waiting for a paycheck every 2 weeks. I actually
And I've always heard people say, well, there's plenty of other jobs. Why would you choose a job showing off your body or taking off your clothes? That's just shortchanging you. That's not proper and this and that. But they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money, and she's raising some kids, and she chooses to make that lifestyle her own. So, I mean, I don't see why people have such judgment. Would I allow my daughter to do that? I'd hope not. But at the end, it's their choice. They're adults.
get to spend more time at home with my kids, and I actually get to be there when they wake up and go to school. I get to be there when they come home from school, and it doesn't take too much away from me to work a couple days a week, but it's rewarding when I'm able to be at home more. And if one of my children wanted to be a dancer, I would let them know all the downsides of it, because it's not all glamour. It's not all money, money every single night. Dancing is a lifestyle. You have to mentally prepare yourself for certain things. I've worked in clubs that were not safe, seen girls get beat up on the floor by men. I knew another dancer in the past where she was working one night, and as soon as it ended, the wife of a customer ran out of her car and stabbed the dancer and killed her as soon as she walked out the door. You have to learn it. There's a lot of politics in it. and it can take a lot of wear and tear on your body physically. And I would be that mother to let her know and guide her into doing something better than what I'm doing.
So what's y'all's take on that so far? Do you think that she's doing a pretty good job? Do you feel that, she's teaching her children into potentially living a dangerous lifestyle? I mean, what's y'all's take on this so far?
Before I started stripping, like, I was just in a position that was not good. Like, I was going to school. I was pretty much living in my car right where I started stripping. And so that just helped me kind of get back up on my feet. It was a choice, but it was a choice I definitely needed to make. I go by Shay, and that's my stage name as well. I've been dancing for about 3 years when I first started stripping. I've been teaching for about 2 years now. And then I kind of grew up doing ballet, so I've been doing that since I was 5. So I've had a lot of dance experience, but just recently in the stripping world. Safer than in a strip club. I could walk out on the street and get harassed anytime I step out, even when I look like shit. I'm trying not to be noticed. No, I still get harassed anywhere I go. But in the club, I have people that have my back. I have the managers, the other dancers, the security. If somebody is disrespecting me, I can stand up for myself. I can tell them, this person is not acting right. You have to take them on out. And they all have my back. So I'm able to speak out when I'm being disrespected. Qualities you have to be a dancer. I definitely say you have to be able to speak up for yourself, enforce your boundaries. You gotta demand that money. Most guys that come into the club, they're expecting something from us. And so whenever guys come in, they're like, oh, so what comes with a lap dance? A lap dance. Like, especially for a $20 lap dance, what are you expecting to get? Different stereotypes, like the usual, like,
I mean, it's basically you're paying for an illusion with a live person. Like, I've been in the back rooms and I've seen a lot of stuff go on. I've seen, women dancers beat the hell out of guys that tried to be too far, tried to do too much. It's a no touch policy at most places. You can't touch the dancers. If you touch them, they throw you out. But the dancer can touch you, so it is what it is.
yeah, fuck for money, all that shit. But like, there's some who do, there's some who don't. You just can't judge based off of what somebody does. And then even if they do that, you shouldn't hold it against them. It's what they choose to do. But I've had a couple of times where guys just pull their dicks out and automatically I'm like, no, this is not what we're doing. This is not what I'm here for. I've had before where I was giving a dance and this guy tried to stick his finger in my ass. I turned around and socked the fuck out of him. A lot of guys feel like they're entitled to your body, entitled to be able to grope you without your permission. And so, but that can happen anywhere. In the club, I'm able to just tell them, no, you can't do that. You're not.
Do you think that because there's a lot of victim shaming in this industry. Like a lot of people say, well, you're all up on him. Why can't he grab you? Why can't he touch you? Because that's not what you're there for. You're there to dance for him. You're not offering him anything else. And for some reason, men can't, and I'm not bashing men because I was once there. And, you're intoxicated, your inhibitions go down. You start to think that, well, this dancer really is into me. And your mind is going a million miles an hour because she's spending time with you. You're spending money on her. You're buying her drink. You're doing all this, and you think, all right, we're going to the back room. She wants a lap dance, or she wants to give me a lap dance, and it's just an illusion.
Out loud. But you deal with a lot of bullshit. It's definitely not for everybody. It takes a lot of hard work. You have to have tough skin. You really find your voice with it. Some people can't handle what we have to go through.
I've definitely heard a lot of stereotypes relating to dancers. I've heard that we're stupid. I've heard that we have sex for money. I've heard, we just have men pay for everything. I've heard that we're just stuck in the same place, so we have no aspirations. I've heard that we have nothing left to do after we time out of this game. I've heard quite a bit of things. My name is Jewel, and my stage name is Lucy. I've always wanted to be a stripper, but I personally just don't want people looking at my vagina, so I became a bikini dancer. I'm also a respite caregiver, so I take care of people with developmental disabilities such as autism spectrum disorder and cerebral palsy. So Lucy and Jewel are definitely two different people. They're very, very similar, and you can even hear how I speak of Lucy. She's me. Lucy and Jewel are both vegan. Lucy and Jewel have the same morals, but Lucy, she dances half naked for money. Jewel does not dance half naked for money. I think of her very fondly. Lucy, she is more flirtatious. Lucy can get what she wants. And so when I want what I want as Jewel, I will bring out some Lucy. Dancing has definitely changed me. In my opinion, it has had to change me. I've been dancing for 3.5 years. It's been a big part of my life. I love dancing. Personally, to get real, I experience a lot of anxiety at work, more so now than ever, which is really a funny thing because dancing has given me so much confidence, but it has also made me realize that I lack boundaries in some ways. It has definitely changed my view on men. Sometimes it feels like men just come in to belittle you. For example, just last week, I've had one man come in and ask if my life was in turmoil and if all the other dancers' lives were in turmoil because it looks like it. I've had that same man ask if it's hard for us to be in monogamous relationships because we're hypersexualized. I've had men ask what my dreams and aspirations were and if I'm at least going to school. The things I hear don't make me want to cry, but the things I experience do. Sometimes I do cry, and it's almost just for humanity.
I mean, on the true crime aspect, think of how many predators go to these places, and an innocent dance can turn into an ugly night. You know what I mean? Because as we talk about in true crime, you just never know what type of person you're going to run across. They might look normal as all get out. They might act normal, but you don't know if you just created an illusion that is false, and this person can end up stalking you.
And for where we are as a society, people can say that men are trash, or people can say that men that come into strip clubs are trash, but I have to remember that these men that are trash are also someone's father, someone's uncle, someone's brother, someone's boyfriend or husband. And sometimes that gets to you because these are supposed to be good men and they're acting like shitty people. I don't want to ever have to quit anything because of a man, but I don't like how that makes me feel. And I know none of that is true. I want this to be empowering to women, but I'm just speaking my truth. Dancing is not for everyone.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think this objectifies women? Do you think this, instead of empowering women, this kind of sets you guys back? If there's any women or men that want to opine on this?
My name is Kimari Brand. My stage name is Callie. And I've been dancing for 9 years. I started dancing because I was trying to clear my record. I had gotten a misdemeanor for possession of marijuana, and I was trying to get a lawyer, and I got a lawyer in 3 weeks. And once I started and I got the money, it was like good money. So I just didn't stop. I just kept working. I ended up buying all the stuff I needed for college my first semester. I kept telling myself I was going to stop dancing, but I danced my whole first semester of college. And then the second semester, I stopped. My major in college was African diaspora studies. And I have distinguished research project called Twerking for Empowerment, and a dance company called Twerk Scholars, where I teach women how to express and explore their bodies, and the aim to boost self-confidence through the movement of the hips. I got an opportunity to study in Nicaragua, and when I was out there, I was studying the politics and culture of Afro-Caribbeans. They had a really poor education system out there, and it was just a lot of things were broken in their government and everything. And I was just so motivated and inspired. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to come out here and help develop, build schools and give into the education. I just want to go to the U.S. And I opened up to my professor about this. I was like, I just want to go back to the U.S., start stripping again and make a bunch of money, save it up, come out here, buy some land, build, and I could just do this. And my professor was like, don't do something that's disempowering to yourself to empower somebody else. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck does that mean? So I changed my whole research topic just became twerking for empowerment, because I couldn't understand why she thought that stripping or dancing to make money was disempowering, because everything that I was seeing was looking empowering as fuck. All of this work that I've been doing for the past couple of years in the strip club, I wanted to take it to make a documentary to be like my dissertation thesis. Look at all this work. Here's my dissertation. Twerking is empowering, check. But it's stripping. No. Shit. So, but yeah, it is though, at the end of the day. It just depends. It's economically empowering for sure, but emotionally and mentally, I have been having some issues.
With stripping and empowerment?
Mm-hmm. 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 And just finding self-value and honor.
Do you think it'd be feasible, the women in the room, do you think it'd be feasible to carry on a monogamous relationship while you were dancing? I mean, because some women, as you're seeing the other side, when they're not in the club, they're straight up gangsters, man. They're on their hustle, they're on their grind. But when you see them at home like that, they're just, that's the other persona, that's the real them. So do you think that it would be possible to carry on a monogamous relationship with a dancer?
In society and within my family. Some pressures I face in the club, I just have an anxiety about approaching the customer, just getting the courage to walk up, put yourself out there, be rejected, and then keep going, dust yourself off and try again. That's a big one, I think, especially when you're in an arena with younger girls, competition. Like when I first started dancing, I was 18. I'm 27 now. There's a lot that the women have to battle emotionally in the club when you're dealing with assholes and people who are hurting themselves and they are coming here to be rude to you because they can and they're paying you to, or like this is the only place where people can get away with this type of behavior just because they pay to play or whatever. Some people's energy that I pick up in the club that have been hard to shake. I've had issues in Texas with racism. In Austin, a lot of the clubs won't hire me because I was like too thick, or they had enough black girls already. Like there was a cap on how many black girls they'll hire. There's a lot of grimy ass shit that goes on too, like pimps, girls being hoed, girls being trifling, stealing all the time. There's not one night that I have worked ever where I have not heard a girl be like, "Who stole my whatever?" There's been times where I did make sure that I do like a prayer ritual before I go in and just like brace myself and put like the armor of God on before I allow myself to be subjected to somebody else's energy and influence. It's hard. It's hard work. I remember when I first started dancing, I became really distant from my family because I didn't want them to know. Like whenever they called to check on me, I wouldn't pick up, or I just wouldn't talk to them, or be honest about what I was going through. So I think that's affected me over the years to this point, to where it's like I can't trust my family, because even if I did tell them, and once I did like open up, or once they did find out that I was a stripper, they weren't proud of me, and so it kind of has created some issues between me and my family because they don't accept me for that. And conditional loving. My dad, he used to be a stripper. The sex work shit there's no fear around it. Maybe for my mom, she felt like, your dad was doing that, but he wasn't even really around you to influence you like that. I had you in so many other things, debutantes, basketball, dance classes, and what the fuck. There's definitely a lot of shame and disappointment from my family, but not more so from my dad than my mom. It's more so just my mom.
If you've never been in a club, I can tell you some of these women are very athletic as hell. Some of them go to the gym every day to work out. They're cut like that woman right there was swinging from a swing. I've seen women hang from like ropes by their mouths, by their legs. I've seen them do all kinds of stuff. They're hella strong, and their acts are very. I mean, even though it's sensual, some of them, I don't know anymore because I haven't been in decades. But back when I was going, they were very tasteful with music and lights and everything else. I don't know if they even dance anymore. I mean, the way things were getting at the end when I was going, the girls wouldn't even dance. They just stand up in one place and just kind of rock back and forth. So it was kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna pay you $1 for you to just stand here and look at me. You know, it's crazy. It's a different world.
The energies definitely stick with you from the crowd. Sometimes it's a lot crowd and you feel it, and it's just kind of like draining, and you just don't want to talk to anybody or deal with any of that. I don't talk to anybody before I go up on stage for the first time. If they come up to me, cool, I'll make some money. But if not, I usually get used to the environment before I go out and get the hustle on. I'm very introverted myself. So for me, talking to people can be very, very, very taxing on my energy. Sometimes you do get that one rude ass customer and you just gotta kind of brush it off. Yes, it sticks. And sometimes you just go home completely exhausted. And so whenever I need to take a step back and breathe, I make sure to take it. You just gotta make sure to take care of yourself. Mental health is very, very, very important in any job, especially this one where we deal with so much. So making sure to take the time and releasing that, not letting it drag you back down.
Smoking that weed, feeling
Stripping is
fine.
definitely not glamorous all the time. It has its lows, it has its highs. Like I like to say, the highs are very, very, very fucking high, but the lows can be very, very, very fucking low. The club's always hit or miss. Sometimes it's a good night, you got a couple grand, something like that. Sometimes you walk out in the negatives because we pay the club, we pay for gas on the way there, we may pay for food there or a drink or something. And so you end up spending more money than you're walking out with. That really sucks. It takes a toll on you a lot. That's always kind of tough because you're putting in this work, you're trying so hard for nothing. Stripping is sexually liberating. It's empowering to be able to go up on stage just fully naked and being able to put on a show in front of a room full of strangers. Like, it definitely empowers you. But I get hate all the time. Most of what I get is love. Anybody who meets me, all my friends, all people who have met me in the past, I'm open about what I do. But I haven't come out to my parents or family yet. But it sucks. It really sucks having to lie. That's the part I hate about it. I've been trying to come out to them for like literally the past year. They don't even know that I teach pole dancing as well. So it's kind of hard, but I'm out on social media and I have a fantastic following. I love all my followers. They support me so much. But you know, every now and then I do get that girl that's insecure and gets mad that her boyfriend's giving me money. And then you get the guys who just are guys. Yeah. So I definitely get a lot of hate, but the love definitely outnumbers it. I'm not ashamed of what I do. I love what I do. I love who I am. I love how I look. I love everything about my life. So if they're unhappy with my life, that doesn't affect me. That's their own insecurities shining back on them. I definitely had a good childhood. That had no effect on what I wanted to do or anything like that. I have a very good relationship with my dad. There's no daddy issues here. Not all strippers have daddy issues. So that's just a bullshit stereotype. People come from all walks of life. Yes, some people have had a bad childhood and have found stripping and are able to pull themselves out of it and become a better person. Some people had a good childhood but still found stripping and became a better person. Some people have found stripping and just fell in love with it. So you can never judge what people have gone through. People in every type of job have gone through bullshit. So just because it's just another job, it's another profession. It's helped me so much. It's helped me progress my career. It helped me find teaching pole dancing and everything like that. It's enabled me to live by myself in California. I still learn about life so fucking much from stripping. It's definitely taught me to be independent. It's taught me how to not be afraid to speak up when somebody's pushing your boundaries. Never be afraid to speak up when somebody's disrespecting you. Standing firm in your beliefs, standing up for yourself and what you want. So it's given me so much freedom to actually be able to live my life.
I mean, this person seems like she had grown through working at the club. You know, she's obviously struggling with, you know, coming out to her family about what she does for a living. I wouldn't say that she was embarrassed about it. I wouldn't say that she regrets what she does. It sounds like it would be a hard thing to tell your family, you know, this is how I'm making money. I I don't know if it'd be easy for anybody to be able to tell your family, especially if you were raised in a good family like she said she was. You would be able to say, "Yeah, hey, I'm doing this," because I mean, she knows her family better than any of us do. So if she has an issue with it, there must be a reason why she just hasn't done it. Hopefully, she did though.
I've definitely considered getting out of dancing. At one point, I actually had a going away party at work, and I told them that was it. I'm leaving for good. And I went to the Philippines for 3 weeks, and I shaved my head there. And I was really excited and happy about that decision because I believed it was my way out of dancing. And I came back to America, and that's when it did come out that I was dancing, and my mom was asking if I was dancing. And I was really happy to tell her honestly the truth to her eyes and say, "Mom, I haven't danced in 6 whole months." And it was great to tell her that. When I shaved off my hair, it definitely was symbolic of cutting off Lucy and cutting off my old life as a dancer. And then I just missed dancing so much that I had to let my hair grow back and start dancing again. I do get some backlash as a bikini dancer. I handle it very well, in my opinion. I honestly just usually ignore people these days because I'm the one paying my own bills. And the people that do have backlash towards me are clearly very unhappy with their lives. If you were happy with your life, then you wouldn't be judging myself or any other dancer or stripper.
Do you feel like society sees the difference between bikini dancing and stripping?
In some ways, I do think that society sees bikini dancing and stripping differently. I have heard comments that bikini dancers are not as sleazy or trashy as strippers, and I've also heard things on the other side where we're the exact same thing, and we are still the same. We're just the same to some people, so. I think being out as a dancer is a lot easier for me, having the appearance that I have. I've had a lot of people, you know, giving me props because I don't look like a stripper and ignorant things like that. So I do like that I'm look multifaceted, I guess is how you'd word it. Life is easier looking like this. I don't know, because it sucks. So that's real. Like that's as real as it gets. It's definitely easier for me to separate parts of my life than it would be for other people. Speaking for myself, I can take care of people's children because I'm not covered in tattoos or piercings. I can go to school and not have people, you know, making sexual comments about me being a stripper or anything like that. I believe dancing is definitely a form of feminism. It just attests to how strong and great women are. I mean, if you can take the same men that are belittling you, if you can take their money, I usually don't take their money if they're belittling me, but if you can, then you can. And there's a saying like, why would you mess with a woman who climbs upside down on a pole for fun? And we do a lot of it while we're on our periods. You know, the fact that women are literally shedding the lining of their uterus and also fucking up a pole and giving lap dances kind of says a lot about us.
Whoa. Oh,
If someone had anything negative to say to me or about me as a dancer, I would tell them that they should back off and it's none of their business. But I would want to tell them, but I don't need their validation. I would want to tell them that I have held the same job for 5 years and that I pay my own bills and I bought my own car and that I'm going to have a career besides dancing and I can do whatever I want to do.
What was the one thing you want people to know about you?
I want people to know that dancing doesn't define you, and if you want it to, it can. I want people to know that I love what I do. I don't necessarily have an end goal for my future. I don't necessarily not have.
you know, Cash, it got harder to go into the strip club when I wasn't drinking. The hardest thing to do is sit there in the strip club trying to enjoy the environment. And I mean, by that time, like I said, I had a lot of friends that were dancers, and I myself would sit at a table and talk and bullshit and cut up and whatever. But once I quit drinking, it was hard to even go in there. It's hard to enjoy myself because most of the time that I spent in there, I was drunk, and it was hard to just not have that barrier of protection, so to speak. So I quit going, and that's one of the reasons that I did because it was uncomfortable, I guess.
Have one. My goal is to live very simply and very comfortably, never struggle from paycheck to paycheck. I want to pay all of my own bills and never have to rely on a partner, especially if that partner's a man.
I feel different every time I go on stage. A lot of times I feel nervous when I go on stage. Sometimes when I feel nervous, it might just be because there's a lot of people, but as soon as I start dancing, somebody starts tipping me and I feel better. So it just like goes away and I feel like, oh yeah, right now, yeah, look at me now. When I first started dancing, I was a stripper, right? I started at a nude club. Topless, like I said, vagina was out. But now I don't work at nude clubs anymore. I work at clubs where it is illegal for us to get naked or to even show nipples. Like we have to have on pasties. That's how non-nude it is, And I appreciate things like that. I feel like I've got more money working in clubs where I don't have to get naked, but I feel more degraded working in clubs where I am getting naked and I'm making less money. Like in moving around and traveling, sometimes you have to know the right club.
She said the vagina was out. Wow. Yeah, that's a whole different topic. Those are different type of clubs. They're very, I don't know. It's kind of like a escalation of your addiction. I mean, it was an escalation of mine. It went from topless to fully nude clubs, and it was a different experience. I mean, to me, it was almost like I can't believe I'm actually sitting here watching this woman dance in front of me nude. Because I mean, it's almost a surreal feeling, and I'm not trying to be nasty in no sense of the word. I'm just saying that, if you have a loved one watching this with you, or you watch this with your girlfriend or your wife, have her strip for you and see how uncomfortable it is, you know, just watching her get all the way naked. Sometimes the imagination of not knowing what it looks like or what you're seeing is more beneficial than seeing it all. Sometimes you're just like, oh my God, you just burst my bubble.
To go to, or else you might end up in a hole in the wall club where you're over here doing the most for the least. The money that I make is not tied to my self-worth. It can't possibly be, because I don't always make a lot of money. I'm not balling out of control. But I think that's good. It keeps me humble and it keeps me down to earth, because it's easy to get big-headed when you do make a lot of money and detach from reality. And then you go and you live life, you think you got it together. Next thing you know, you hit rock bottom and boom, you have nobody because you became a rich asshole. And you thought, oh, you didn't need nobody and you got money. Here today, gone tomorrow.
Outside of the money, what are some reasons you choose to stay like in the club?
There is no other reason besides the money and getting in these documentaries and building these relationships with these certain figures to tell their stories. A lot of times it's not always good. It's not a fairy tale story working in these clubs in this lifestyle, but it does help a lot of women maintain their lives and their families, myself included. Like, my goal is always to provide and take care of my baby and myself. And I have to do for myself first before I can do for my baby, because I've had times where I wasn't stripping and working and I was just trying to be a mom, and that shit was driving me crazy because I'm not bringing in my main source of income like I'm used to and comfortable with, and I'm not able to provide for myself. Now I'm going crazy and I'm not able to provide for my baby. So I have to work. I think dancing definitely affected my motherhood, because I was a dancer before I got pregnant, and then after I had my baby, I went straight back to dancing again. Like, I was working out, trying to get my snap back and everything, but I didn't realize like I shouldn't have rushed to get back to work so quickly, because once I was gone from my baby at night, he was 3 months when I started dancing again. And after that, I stopped producing breast milk. So I just feel like, fuck, this shit is negatively affecting my fucking ability to be a mom. I ain't got no milk. Fuck. So, but that could be any job. It doesn't have to be stripping or dancing. There's so many other women who fucking lose their breast milk for having to go to work, or who pump at work. Being away or being working and not with my baby is problematic to society for sure, because everybody does expect you to be Mother Teresa, nursing your baby all the time and, being a mom. There was definitely for a long time a separation between my identities. Kamari, Kim Callie, Mari Mackin. I had like 3 different personalities for a long time for sure. I was never my stripper self when I was at college, ever. And even when I went to the strip club world, I was my college self. I was like this little innocent schoolgirl. Like, I'm not really, fuck these bitches. I don't know what they got going on and I don't want to know. But once I graduated and my work became more about the women, and it's like, oh, well, what's up? I want to know what's good with y'all bitches. Like, I'm in here too. Like, I'm really here. Like, I finally am embracing it. Like, I'm no better than you. All this time I thought, man, fuck these bitches. This is just my side. That's why I'm about to do this and that, this and that. And then this and that doesn't happen. And you realize, oh shit, like, this is it. Like, I have to figure out who I'm going to be and how I'm going to be, because I'm not an outsider looking in anymore. I'm inside looking around. A major misconception that I think.
I mean, look at those heels. I mean, you can't tell me that a woman cannot have muscular calves walking in those damn things for hours. I've seen some dancers with some calves that were like muscular, like all get out. I mean, it just, look at those things. That thing broke. Timber.
I think a lot of people should know that they don't about strip club culture and life. It's just that, like, it's not as easy as it looks or as glamorous as we make it seem. I mean, yeah, we dress up, we put a full face of makeup on. Oh, glam. Yeah, but I mean, everything that glitters ain't gold. And just because it looks good doesn't mean it feels good. You know what I mean? So
I like her
dancing made me into a finessing savage, just because that's kind of how I have to be in a strip club environment. It's about how good you can finesse and get somebody to spend the most money on you. And that can be exhausting. I think I'm pretty happy. I've had modes of sadness though, and waves and phases of depression, but I think that's normal for anybody in any field. But I think for the most part, the fact that I choose to do this job against so much stigma and societal disapproval, yeah, it has to be something that makes me completely overjoyous and happy, then more so than it makes me sad or depressed. Otherwise, I just wouldn't do it.
When I grow up, I want to be an artist, a veterinarian, and I want to be an actor. My mommy supports my goals. She definitely does, because she's always there.
My mom doing what she does, it taught her how to be stronger, and I feel like she projected those lessons onto me and my sisters, so we're not insecure, we're proud of ourselves, and we all carry ourselves the way my mom taught us to, which is like we are perfect, basically. Everybody does what they have to do to provide for themselves and the people around them, and there are people, some people choose to rap, some people choose to work in a cubicle, and other people choose to dance, and that's perfectly fine. So
dancing has contributed to who I am now because it taught me more so how to have a peace of mind, because the club can get crazy, it can be overwhelming, there can be different energies in the club. When I get home from work, I pretty much am exhausted. I have to take a shower, and mentally I feel like, of course I've worked all day, but I feel like I wash all of that energy off of me. I wash the stage off of me. I wash sitting in the chairs off of me. Within the first couple of years of me dancing, it was a little hard for me to shake off certain energies because I was learning so much. And when I encounter different people with different energies, I tend to come home and it's pretty much in the back of my head. I chose my stage name as China Doll because it's always been my nickname ever since I was a little girl. There is definitely a separation between Maureen and China Doll. I am a completely different person outside of work. I separate them in a way that I don't work as much. I try to keep balance in my life, and the club gets, honestly, now a very small part of my life, very small part of my week. And even the days that I go, it gets a very small part of that day. I love being at home and I love exploring outside of the home. We love to go to the beach. That's something that I really appreciate. We do shows together. We do reptile shows. I love dolls. I love creating something. If I'm not drawing or making something, then I don't feel right. So I love to be creative, and I try to find creativity wherever I want to be at for that day. And then when I come out of the club, I appreciate being home. I appreciate the quietness. I appreciate my family so much when I'm not at work. And it's helped me, and it stabilizes my life. I wouldn't have changed anything as far as dancing, because in life, you go through life. And I've definitely had to learn to do things on my own. And I've had obstacles. It hasn't always been easy, but there were times where it was really easy. And I wouldn't change any of my learning experiences because I'm here to guide my kids and to let them know things and to tell them the truth about life and things that can go wrong, and be supportive and just be everything for them. And it takes moving through life to do that. I'm definitely happy with how everything turned out. I'm happy that I ended up here after everything. And I'm happy with my home life, my family life, my life with my pets. I'm happy with everything. I couldn't ask for anything else.
Good job. Awesome. On your way to being an actress.
Look how you have poop on your shirt.
Wait, it was a brownie, okay? It was good.
You know, I thought that was a classy documentary. That's the first time I watched it all the way through because I wanted to watch it and kind of react as I was watching it. It's interesting to me because just like in any life, any job, like they were saying, there's different variations of circumstance. You know, sometimes you get a job, you might make some money really quickly, but you hate your job. You know, it just interesting to me how these women are making the best of their opportunity. You know, people in the adult industry have always gotten a bad rap, and I can see why. I mean, I really could. But there's supply and demand out there. These that they chose obviously were not hardcore drug addicts. They were not alcoholics. They were not falling down drunk, passing out at the table. They were not leaving the club with customers that they showed. By the way, if you leave with a dancer outside the club, even if you don't have sex, they could still charge you with prostitution. I didn't know that until one night my friend tried to solicit a dancer to leave with us, and the manager came out and said, "If you leave with them, I will call the cops and I'll tell them that you left and get you charged with prostitution." And it was just wild. I mean, when you're young, you don't really understand. It's almost like you live a life of fantasy. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, okay? You know, right. But you know, when you're young, you think, like I just said, I'm speaking for myself. You have that mentality that, man, this one really digs me, or this one, because you have that illusion going on because for whatever reason you're drunk. My mind wasn't always working right because, like I just said, I was an addict and an alcoholic. And, I lived that whole lifestyle, lived it fast. I lived it, to the extreme. And nothing that I was doing was rational. So everything that I was trying to do in my life was irrational because nothing made sense. So picking up a stripper was norm, that was the norm. I got to go get me a dancer, for the night to come home and dance at the house after we come back or whatever, let's party, let's do whatever. And there was no hold barred, you know what I'm saying? Am I proud of that? No, I'm not proud of it. But you know what? I don't live a life of shame either, I don't live a life of shame either. Was it self-esteem or depressed? You know, I don't know. I think I was just drunk and high most of the time. So it was all about the faster it went, the more I enjoyed it. You know, my eye just rolled that it hurt. What are you talking about? What are y'all talking about? I'm trying to answer y'all's question, but I'm kind of lost for a second. They're women, not cattle. I saw that one. Home to dance. Oh, of course. I mean, you would want them to come and dance. Do whatever. It was just a crazy life. This is this is a no judgment zone. Come on, y'all. No judgment here. Because we all have skeletons in our closets. I'm just airing mine out in public right now. I'm serious. I'm just airing mine out in public. But, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you know what I mean? It was fast. It was hardcore. There was no limits. There was no limits. And I'm glad to say that, I was dating somebody and she kind of also broke me a little bit of this because she told me, she said, you do realize that that's somebody's little girl, right? Somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, um, somebody's friend, and you objectifying them by treating them like an object. It just disgusting, and I had never looked at it that way. People were people, and I thought, people are people. They're free to make their own choices. Let's do what we do. I remember once being in a place with new dancers on the jukebox having the song "God is Watching Us" from a distance. Don't you start, for fuck's sake. That is weird. But you know what? I'm glad you're here, Jeff. I'm glad you're here. You missed the most important pieces. It's like people waited till the video was over. They kept looking. Um, is he still playing the video? No. Okay, the video's over. He's talking. Now we can go in. I really thought that a lot more people were going to come in and come into these and watch, and actually get a different glimpse of the lifestyle. Jeff A. 12 love strip clubs, apparently. I'm pretty sure that dance does their music in a jukebox too. Cash, it is past tense. 12 loved strip clubs. See, Jeff used to go to places like that too. No judgment. No judgment. They sell a hell of a steak at lunchtime. You can get steak and baked potato, at some places. I mean, you can get some good food. Have some company while you're eating lunch and go about your business. And I hope y'all don't judge me for real because this was in the past and this is not now. But I know that a lot of people have strong opinions on strip clubs and things like that. They used Jeff H. Where did they keep their jukebox dime? Oh, jukebox dimes. It says nobody here. Now you got me thinking of that song "Jukebox Hero," standing in the rain. It's head hung low. Y'all know that song, right? Right. I mean, people are human. I've had a lot of business lunches in places like that. And it's not like we went in there and, didn't tip very well. Like you tip very well. It's like, hey, I'm not just sitting here gawking at you. I'm going to give you $1 bill for you, doing all this work. You know, couldn't get a ticket. It was a sold out show. Yeah. Jukebox Hero. Yeah, that was an awesome song, man. I mean, Cash, you're funny, man. I'm glad you're in here tonight. It just kind of livens up the mood. I'm glad you can dig it, bro. I'm glad you and Jeff and Rondi can dig it. I can't even take you seriously. Are you talking about me? Hey, you haven't had a steak until you've been to a strip club with a steak and potato. Like there's something different. It just hits harder. Different. Totally different. You know, the red wine, all of it. It just hits different. It just hits different. Try it sometime. You go to Vegas, you watch showgirls and all that stuff. I mean, there's really no difference other than some of these strip clubs are really, I'll have to admit, they're really kind of ghettos. They're ghetto. There was a place in DC where the stage was low. They'd walk up to the stage of the dance floor and stare straight down into this dancer's no square. It was the ignorance of my HIV and porn, to be honest. Well, you have to do something with your hands. There was a strip club. I shit you not. Like they had wooden barriers where you couldn't get close, and then they had like in between the barriers, they had like little walkways where the dancer could come up to the wood area and just like dance from there. But you couldn't get beyond that barrier. So, that wasn't a very good one. It's like, you're like, well, I don't want to be here because, I pay to, I pay to, I pay to play. Like 12 and Jeff are going to hell. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow, that is hilarious, man. The God I serve has forgiven me of my sins. You know what I mean? It's like, when you're lost in time, you do just about anything just to escape reality. I heard that. I had that PE in my head. There you go. There's the cowboy hat with a smile, standing in the rain with his head hung low. Couldn't get a ticket. It was a sold out show. Gosh, I want to play that song so bad, but they'll copyright me. I know they will. They will. I mean, it will just be ugly. But I thought I'd give y'all a break from true crime because, I've been kind of hitting it pretty hard lately. And, there's a lot of theories out there that are going on. Um, a lot that I don't agree with, but you know what? People make your money, do what you do. But there's a fine line between fantasy and reality. You know what I mean? Like, if you think that you can say certain things on the internet and not get to certain people, and eventually your name become a target, because you're speaking on certain things that you have no business speaking on, how is it not going to be leading to consequences? You know what I mean? It'd be like if I was on here talking about a drug dealing organization that I once was a part of or that I know of, and I know damn well that that is in a form snitching on them, even if I'm not naming all of them, and how they look upon snitches. You know what I'm saying? So it's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game out there. I just hope, people have been warned. I just hope that these people don't get dealt with, because real gangsters don't talk. They just make you disappear. You know? They just make you disappear. So it's just a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game. But people keep pushing that narrative. They keep pushing that narrative, because for some reason they just don't want it to be the guy that's in custody right now. But one day we will find out. Until then, we will be listening to all this bullshit, I guess, of all these narratives. And people are entitled to their opinion. I'm entitled to mine. They might think that mine is bullshit, which is fine. I'm not trying to solve a crime. I'm not even trying to be on a side. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that too I saw that on somebody's comment. Oh, the Savior has saved her because she is safer now that she's been outed. What a dumbass. For some reason, maybe there are many that identify with BK. And I was talking with people. I was talking with a person last night about that. Man, we talked for hours. It was a wonderful conversation. This person just is so easy to talk to. But we're talking about that, like maybe the people that feel that he's innocent all the way through. I'm not talking about innocent until proven guilty. I'm talking about innocent are people that have been done wrong by false accusations, by police. They've been arrested unjustly, to their opinion. They feel that maybe they've been former drug addicts and they've gotten their life together. And, now all of a sudden they feel like they got their lives together and they've changed because, look, I was an addict. I went through hell trying to get to where I'm at. And I changed. I believe that I've changed. So when you see somebody that you can relate to, that you feel that doesn't have a voice, you want to stand up for them. You want to stand up for them. And I guess that's why the community at large is so divided, because there's some that have never been in trouble with the law, some that do believe in justice, some that believe in the government, the rights, everything else, but they still believe that this is what it is. And there's some that do believe in rights and they fight for rights and all this and that and the other, but they have a different outlook on it. And both sides are basically saying the same thing. They're just fighting each other for no real reason. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all, to be fighting with somebody else who is saying the same thing as you. Because if you really listen to these crime shows, there's a lot of people that are saying the same thing, just in a different way. And then there's those that have theories that, they believe in those theories. Or maybe they don't believe in those theories, But one thing I heard tonight is I heard this lady call another creator an expert. She's an expert on Linda Lane. That's what she said, quote unquote. And I was thinking to myself, an expert at watching a video of Linda Lane? How does that make you an expert? You know, how are you? Yeah, you're right, Kim. You're right. Yeah, Heather, you and I have talked about it, and you know how I feel about this. I mean, I've expressed my feeling to you, you know, about how I feel, and I've heard your theories, you know, like, but to be an expert on Linda Lane, that would be like, and no harm intended, Jeff. Don't take this the wrong way, but that would be saying like Jeff's videos on Linda Lane solved the case. Do you honestly think that if there was anything on Linda Lane that was exculpatory or inculpatory, those videos wouldn't be on the internet? So to call somebody an expert, yeah. I don't know what an expert on Linda Lane is. I really don't. But this person seems to think that this creator is an expert. I don't believe that Linda Lane, Banfield, all that is going to amount to a hill of beans. I really don't. Yeah, there's so many people that, and that's what this whole theory started from. It's what's funny to me or interesting. I'm going to say interesting, okay, because it's not funny. None of this is funny. It's interesting to me that for 2 years, a year, nobody heard the name Farley in the Linda Lane footage. For all the time that people have been looking at that footage and listening and listening and listening and listening, not one person heard the name Farley. And then all of a sudden, we hear the name Farley, and then all of a sudden, that is like the missing puzzle piece. And now we have this theory that has no interruption, but it still has missing pieces. But if you don't know, you don't know. You get what I'm saying? You don't know, you don't know. So I want to applaud these women that were brave enough to do this documentary. I'm going to shift gears here. I want to applaud these women that did this documentary because it would take some bravery to put yourself out there on a documentary like that for the world to see, to be honest about what your life is really like. Because many people do think that they're prostitutes, they're, you know, they're, as one said, hoes and, you know, all this other stuff. And more likely than not, they're just trying to make it. They're just trying to make it. I mean, if we watch the construction worker take us through his week, and this is a poor example, but you know, would you think any less of that construction worker because he's not a lawyer, because he's not a doctor? You know, it's people are made differently with different aspirations. As long as they're not harming you or stealing from you or demeaning you or being disrespectful to you or trying to change you, then let them live their lives. You get what I'm saying? Let them live their lives. Because I mean, it would take a lot of gall to get up and go to work every day being a dancer, knowing all the abuse that you take, not only from the patrons, but the staff. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. Y'all are still talking about that shit. I'm sorry I brought it up. Come back to come back to the mothership, y'all. Come back to the mothership. Oh, y'all are already 5 minutes behind. Come back to the mothership. I'm talking about the video. Come back to the mothership. You know, it's tragic how so many people have to deal with so much at their jobs simply because they're a woman. In 2024, we still have individuals that are women that are treated like less than, even though most women can probably outwork some of these men that feel that the women are still beneath them. Yeah, you're right. It's it just come back to the mothership, Jeff. Come back. You know, I don't go to strip clubs anymore because you know what that would do to my lifestyle? I could not exist in that environment very long before I ordered a beer or a Jack and Coke. And then I slide slowly back into old behaviors. But the only difference would be is I have the money now to in my head think I can blow $500, $1,000 in here and then not mess with me in one way or the other. And before long I'd be in there every night. And before long I would be calling into work because I'd be so hungover I couldn't make it. I'd be embarrassed because I'd be hungover. I couldn't be at my best. A workout role in your next live. I don't know what that means. But do you get what I'm saying? Like whenever you've been through hell and you've gotten to the other side, you get to a point where you understand the steps of going backwards. Even if they're little steps. Even if they're little steps, you just cannot allow yourself to go backwards no matter what. And I told myself that a long time ago. I can't even allow myself to put myself in that position because knowing me, as much as I fight it off, that was a weakness for a lot of years. So I know that it wouldn't take much for me to slide back. Even if I thought I could handle it, then I'd be hiding out. I definitely wouldn't be making these lives every night, every day. Yes, it would. You know, I wouldn't be around. You wouldn't see me. Kind of like with the Matthew Perry book that I was reading, how you're okay until you pick up that one time and then your life is in danger. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing to be an addict. But it's awesome to be sober. But you wouldn't see me because I'd be so embarrassed that not only did I lie to you, but I let myself down. And even if I didn't care about you, I would be feeling like I let you down. You know what I mean? No, I moved it. You two get along. Agree to disagree. Neither one of you are right. I'm right. You're wrong. You know, but honestly, like it's a dangerous, as somebody said, it's a slippery slope. It's a dangerous place to be because you know how easy it is to go back there, you know? Thanks, Jeff. You know, it's a slippery slope. You just, it's like you know how much you love something. And I don't know if y'all have ever realized that getting clean and sober from anything or even working out and getting in shape, it's so much hard work to maintain that. Being a fat slob and, eating anything you want and just laying around and gaining weight and having health issues and all that stuff that I've had due to my irresponsibility is easy. Is easy. You get what I'm saying? It's easy. That's why I refuse to ever go backwards. And I work so hard to keep going forward. And when I see people on the internet, especially on YouTube, self destructing, it saddens me. It really does. Because you just never know who's watching you, who's actually invested in you, or your words, or your views on life, or whatever. People say, well, people are free to think what they want. But yeah, but if you have the same 50 to 150 people tuning in to see you every night and they're agreeing with what you're saying, then you've already made an impact on them. And that's real talk. You have been given a responsibility to either lead them in the truth or lead them in a lie. The mouth is the most filthy thing we have because it harms so many people. And it's it's terrible. But many people, I guess they don't have a conscience or they don't care or they feel like, you know what? You don't have to sign in. You don't have to come watch me. You know? But some of these people are lonely. Some of these people don't get out anymore. Some of these people are older. Maybe you're the only person they interact with at all. Maybe the chat members are the only people that know anything about them, even if they don't know them. Maybe the chat the only reason they have to keep going. Maybe they have health issues. Maybe they can't get out of bed and they're chatting from their bed or they're struggling with an addiction or something. And they're just, they log on and they're not going to go against you because they've developed a friendship in that chat, an acceptance. And I think that's why some people come into my chat guns blazing, automatically just guns blazing. And I'm like, man, why do you just kick in the door with your guns blazing? I mean, we're not even attacking anybody in here. And it's just terrible. It's just terrible that we can't be human beings without putting others down in the process. How right do you have to be by putting other people down in the process? Is it really that important to you? Is it really important for you to call people out and say that they must do this or they must do that in order to be a better person. You just judge them. He who liveth without sin cast the first stone. If we all lined up and that was asked of us to do, how many of us could honestly not cast that stone? None of us. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, Cash. You've grown on me, brother. But y'all get what I'm saying, right? And I'm not trying to get religious. I'm not trying to get self-righteous here. I'm just speaking my mind, because there is a lot of ugly going on right now. And if you're already struggling mental health wise and you go into one of these chats and you're looking for friendship or you're looking to be a part of rather than be apart from, and you get kicked out or you get attacked for your thoughts, and you're already having trouble in your real life and you're going into these chats looking for some kind of salvation, you're going to agree with any theory that's going on there, especially if they accept you. If that makes any sense. That's awesome, Cash. That's awesome. Family is very important. But when you're in these lifestyles, like I was just talking about, being an addict, family didn't mean nothing to me. People didn't mean nothing to me. And I've stated multiple times, I hated people. I hated people to the core. They were just dispensable to me. You were just another means to an end. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm glad I grew out of that. Now I think I care too much. But you know what? It is what it is. I am me and I'm not going to change, You just, you feel that your pain is so deep that I'm going to hurt you before you hurt me. I'm going to throw you away before you get a chance to throw me away. It's an ugly feeling to be in that mindset. And think about some of the people that have been given the responsibility to lead on these platforms. You don't know if any of them have mental health issues that they struggle with. I've heard multiple times on some chats that they missed the chat because it gave them hope. It brings them happiness to be with their people, And I can get that. But it's more important to build a life where the people that are right there in front of you rather than on this internet, These people that are in front of you, you take for granted sometimes. You act like they're not important. I can promise you, if I get into a relationship that is stable and loving and caring, I won't be on these lives much. I won't. I'll almost disappear off the internet, I can promise you. Or I'll bring that person on with me, one or the other, because this is not as important as living my life, because as I've noticed, as I've gotten older, time is short. Time is short. And sometimes you don't have a lot of time. So why waste it fighting for things that have nothing to do with you? Now, I could see if you were fighting for your families, I could see if you've had people murdered or people snatched up and are missing from your family. I could see your point in the race. I could see it because some of those things never go away. I was talking with the father of Haley Dunn, the 13-year-old cheerleader that I've done probably 2 episodes of her going missing and ultimately being found years later. Well, they still haven't really. They got a guy that they thought killed her, but they let him go. And I was listening to that father, and I even read. I'll read you the text message that he sent me because I don't want you to think I'm a liar. I had wrote him. I said, "Would you be interested in doing a podcast with me?" And he responded. He said, "Hi, 12 Gauge. This is Clint, the dad. I'll be running this page from now on and going through the messages and see you didn't get a reply. I can give you some information on Haley's case, but I probably won't be doing a podcast. Those are very hard for me. I'll probably be doing a live here on Facebook within the next 3 days to talk about Haley's case, and I'll be starting where I left off last time, on day 3, from when Haley disappeared. Thank you. Sending you good vibes and much love." And I told him, I said, "Thank you so much. Just wanted to get your perspective and trying to keep the case alive. I'm local and live not far from where you live. If you change your mind, let me know. My channel is 12 Gauge Investigative on YouTube." He said, "I did a podcast about a month ago. Maybe you can check it out. It's on Grieving Our Babies podcast on YouTube." And I said, "Okay, thank you. Sending continued prayers. If I can help in any way, let me know." So I plan on going there tomorrow and getting some more footage and kind of retracing the crime because I know it well. I might even drive the route and show you guys on a live and then play his podcast that he was on because he has a lot of things going on. Heart problems, his health is affected because of of his daughter being murdered. And then not knowing who the killer was or is. In small town America, the same thing as in Moscow. Small town politics, small town America, lying, not telling them anything, all these speculations. Same thing, you know? I don't know what y'all are talking about. I just see y'all um, just talking, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm glad that y'all are getting along to the point where you can carry on a conversation while I'm over here talking. I hope that y'all are listening a little bit. You know what I mean? You know, I can't imagine losing. I mean, I know what it's like to lose a family member, but never a child or never a parent. That's why the live that I did earlier about that missing mom, man, that just breaks my heart to think that those kids woke up one day without their mother and they have no clue 20 days later where she's at, what happened to her. You muted me. Oh my goodness. It just impacts me to think that that happened to those kids or any children. And the sister was on there and she She gave her understanding of the case. And it's just tragic. It's just tragic about this true crime community, about how much pain there is in these cases. But instead of trying to find healing, as many say, we just inflict pain on each other, which is a coping mechanism. Because always remember, hurt people hurt people. And one thing also you need to remember is you can't get well in the same place you got sick. Yes, I do understand that. And I'd like for you to come up on panel and talk about that one day if you're ever ready. I mean, you got a panel up here to, with your name on it. If you ever want to talk about it, or you ever want to get, a presentation where I can show it, I'll be more than happy to do that. I believe in justice. I believe in the justice system. I might not believe it in the same way other people do, but you know what? At the end, as long as it's a fair and honest investigation that they did their best, and even if they were wrong, at least they tried to find justice, not just a person to pin the crime on. I like that movie, The Lost Boys. Lost in the Shadows. Am I making any sense to you guys? Are y'all enjoying the show so far? I've gone almost 2 hours, and I mean, time flies when you're on this camera, man. I don't think people realize that. They think, well, he just wants to get on there and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. No. But honestly, Heather, if you get a presentation together, or if you want to talk about your sister's case or your brother's case or your aunt's case, or somebody that you know's case, I mean, anybody's case you want to talk about, you're more than welcome to hop on here. Yeah, hurt people. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Throw some 20s. Throw some 20s my way. Why don't y'all put some money up? Hey, that's what can be mine. You know how Elevated Truth has the rooster? Why don't y'all make mine money? Like, go into the emojis and saturate the chat with money. I think that would be cool. That would be my little emblem. You know how Illuminati has the airplane? Worst live ever. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Why don't y'all do that? Go into the emojis, find a dollar, and just saturate my chat with the dollar signs. Or the dollar. That would be awesome. And those of you that are watching that haven't been chatting, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoy watching my show. I don't mean any harm whatsoever. I really don't. I'm just a human being with emotions at times, and sometimes they get the best of me, and I have to speak on it. Whether I'm right, whether you agree or disagree, I do have experience in living and a lot of things that I talk about. So it's not just me blowing smoke out my ass, That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm gonna also, one of these days, I'm gonna do a show on the Texas killing fields. Wouldn't do. Oh my goodness, Jeff. Thank you. People are gonna talk about this. Hey, what this button do? Oh, it's a super chat. You know how you go into people's chats and you give them money? What kind of person are you? Jeff H, put it in a lap dancer pants. I don't have any ill feelings about that person either. So I just don't believe she's an expert. But that's my feelings and that's my thoughts. Yeah, that guy is amazing. I want to go down there and I want to film where they're buried and I want to film the road and all that. I don't know. I'm excited about bringing the truth rather than my own opinions. You know what I mean? Like that's something that I want to focus on with my shows is I want to focus on, bringing people to the crime scene, to my truth, not my speculation. Yes, it was, Tom. Have you seen it? That is such a sad, sad case. Like 30 women. 30 women. If you haven't seen that, y'all might look it up on Netflix. It's called The Killing Fields. Texas Killing Fields. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I mean, I understand that too. True crime can be depressing. I get that. I get that. And maybe that's another reason why people don't dive into these cases as deeply because of the depression that, the blood and the gore and everything else. I get that too. But for me, there's a lot more people that want the answer. They can take the gore, they can take the answer, once it's there, but just don't lie to them. My brother was in the Marines. He was stationed in, I guess you say Kanoe Bay, Hawaii for 4 years. He went to Okinawa 1 year. He served from 97 to 2001, right after the World Trade Center. He thought he was going to have to, World Trade Center bombing. He thought he was going to have to stay in. Yeah. I got to ask him if he got his K-bar knife. I've never thought of that. If he did, he lost it along the way. Like he went crazy, not crazy, but he got out and had some issues as well. Yeah, thank you, Tom. Thank you for your service. Yeah. Hoorah! Tom, do you still have your K bar? Did you ever have a K bar? I've seen multiple variations. I've seen a lot of replicas, and you go into any store, you can pretty much find them. Many members of my immediate family are military, Marine, Air Force, and Army. I think Jeff has a video. Let me pull that up. Jeff has a video about a K bar, and I'm not getting started on that case. I just want to show the video because I think it's the knife in itself is. I watched a movie the other day where this guy was stalking this woman. He used a knife like that, and he like overpowered her so quickly. It was just disturbing to see that happen. It's not very long. It's like 37 seconds or something. If y'all haven't been to Jeff's channel, it is Jeff 8 the guitarist. Heather's like, good Lord, what? Deep into the history of the K-bar. No, we're not going to go into that one. We're just going to look at this one right here. Here we go. Jeff, you need to get proficient with that, bro. It's like undoing a bra. You should be able to do that with one hand, my man. Just one hand, one-handed. Push it down, push the top over. Kind of like unsnapping it. Isn't that right, Tom? He should be able to do that with one hand, not two hands. Snap it with one hand. Pop, pop. Yeah. Oh, you wear a bra? I would say the actual snap is where the most pressure on it. But I would think, if I'm going to unbuckle it, I'm going to use one hand. It would be the top of my thumb. The other finger would just be holding it down, popping it open. The strap was very tight. I imagine over time it stretches out a bit. That's what she said. Anyways, yeah, that's interesting to watch that K-Bar video. If y'all haven't been to Jeff's channel, go check out his channel. Jeff 8 the Guitarist. He has a lot of interesting videos on the Idaho 4, the Linda Lane footage, amongst other things. There's some other videos on docuseries that he's made of his own, and he's very talented. He has, videos on where he's, done video shoots of guns and rifles, and not really guns, but rifles and older rifles, and he's very talented with his work. So y'all go check him out. We had it unsnap most of the time. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, Tom. It really does. That makes a lot of sense. So all the people that assumed that it was snapped when he went in with it are kind of delusional, right? Yeah, I mean, that does make a lot of sense. I would have never thought that. But that makes sense. If you're going to use it, why have it snapped? Maybe that's why, if there was touch DNA there, he didn't think about it. Wow. Mind blown. Mind blown. The German word for bra is stop them from flopping. I need a little sound thing that goes mind blown. Kind of like if it was a different weapon. Would you go into a house with it in the holster? There's some cat people that would. We've never stabbed in the chest area either. Well, I'm glad you're in here describing this because this makes a lot of sense. Hold on, I got to turn this AC off. It's kind of cold in here. I said it's cold in here. I said it's cold in here. That K bar is so dang sharp. I might keep it unsnapped, but I'd be reluctant to walk around with it on the sheet. We were taught to stab under the sternum, push the knife down, and come up to the heart. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen that done, but, that's what a lot of military people show you, they're like, in your opinion, Tom, would you say that a K bar would have been the logical weapon? You know how a lot of people say, well, it was two weapons, or it was an axe, or it was a golf club, or any of that stuff. In your opinion, would you say that possibly the K bar would have withstood for four murders? I said chat people. The K bar can make all those type of wounds. I said chat people. Maybe I did say cat people. I don't know. Yes, if he stayed in the soft tissue. Yeah, because I mean, Kaylee's wounds, as they said, were mostly around the liver area, that part of the body. And I don't want to get into the other ones because they're pretty graphic, but many people know what the injuries are. I've always thought that also. I thought that, the wounds became tears as the knife dulled and it was harder to get out versus, you know, or maybe it tears when you're pulling it out. I don't know. I've never stabbed anybody. And I don't think a lot of people have either. So they have a lot of theories behind the knife and the wounds and all these other things. So it's interesting. Want to pet your cat? Long haired or short haired? Enan, I wonder if he had a long haired or short haired cat. Tears are when you pull down and if the victim moves. Okay. See, this is what I like. A person that actually knows. I mean, he's not speculating. He's not speculating. Short haired cat. Yeah, I'm allergic to the long haired cats. Well, I don't know what else to talk about. I really don't. I don't want to get started on the Idaho 4 stuff. I really don't. Too tired to talk about that. But I hope that y'all enjoyed the dancing myth versus reality. And Cash, if you are no longer in here, thank you for being in here and making me laugh. Thank you guys that just watched and didn't come in here. It was okay. I understand it's kind of a touchy subject, Okay, we got some questions here. I'll wait until we answer them. Could one person do 4 people? I like the conversation like this too. Tom Van knows what he's talking about. Detective John knows what he's talking about. Bubbly Waters, well, I've never street anyone, but I have seen 2 stab bends. Also, I cut myself once real bad. It felt like fire, literally hot like a burn. Rondi, yes, it would only take a few minutes with that each person. Stickers on poles. Hey Tom, you know how sometimes you're taught to hold somebody down, like you grab one arm and you move it over and you kind of put it on the other arm. Would you believe that could have been a theory on how they were held down with one arm while the other arm was free, or even put weight on the person while they were committing the crime? Because I mean, you could literally grab one person's arm and like either hold it back and move the other arm out and be, having the whole area exposed. I don't, like I said, I've never stabbed anybody, so I don't even want to play like I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm asking you. This chat, um, StreamYard lags. It lags like 2 minutes, I think, because I'll ask a question and then it's like it takes a while for the answers to come. I don't know if y'all can hear me like as I'm talking or if it lags as well. I don't have a clue. But hopefully everything's going kind of normal. I need a haircut, bro. Did they boot me out? Am I still here? Are y'all still here? Okay. Stickers on poles. I don't see any stickers. That time Kim told Detective John the UI plumber was there and used the wrench. Gets me every single time. I am here. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Lagging a bit. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know what's up with the internet in this area. Maybe some they're doing work on it or something. I don't know. Stickers. Strippers. Stickers and strippers. Good combinations. You see that girl was using what are those called, those things? Stuff you put on her chest. Tom said I've seen people stabbed 30 times in under a minute. Oh, and I don't have a cat. Where's Aquarius, Rondi? Aquarius, where are you? We have a lot of people that were in here, but they left. I don't know who's on right now. Oh, she's in bed. Yeah, she says she does go to bed early. But that's interesting, Tom. That I showed a video that said that you can stab 5 times per second sometimes, and I didn't even know that was a thing. You know what I mean? It just I'm gonna show one thing and then I'm gonna sign off. See if I can find it. So how y'all doing? Hope y'all doing all right. Do not do not put your loved ones in a suit. Do not put your loved ones in a suitcase. That is not recommended. And these are professionals, so tell me what you think about this, Tom.
Rob, you ready? Right. 3, 2, 1, cut him off!
Is that pretty accurate?
Can I survive Navy SEAL training? Well, the answer is probably no, but that's not going to stop me from trying. Today, I'm here at the official training center for Navy SEAL and SWIC in Coronado, California, to see if I can complete the infamous BUDS obstacle course.
Are you laughing over there?
No. This is where Navy SEALs are built. And SWIC.
Come on, man.
Today, we have one mission. Challenge Austin's physical and mental resilience with one goal. Make him quit. Welcome to the Navy SEAL and SWIC course.
Thank you.
Things are going to get really intense today.
I'm ready for it.
At any point in time, it gets too tough, feel free to ring the bell, and that'll mean that you quit.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for bringing this so close to this course.
Of course.
It means a lot.
I'll tell you what, if this video hits 10,000 likes, I'll come out and run through your obstacle course.
I think we can get this to 10,000 likes. You guys please help me out.
Let's do this.
And then we hug, and then I carry you.
I don't know.
That's weird.
I know. So out of all these obstacles, which one is the toughest?
I would have to say the most intimidating obstacle we have on this course would have to be the slide for life because of its height. But what the most people fail here on is the rope swing.
That small one right over there?
That small one.
Huh.
Because their grips are fatigued by that point.
Uh-huh. Is there any type of like danger that I should be worried about?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to fall off the top of the cargo net.
I could have guessed that. I don't have a fear of heights, though.
That's the one you told me you're most afraid of.
I know, just because it's hot. It's because my grip. Obviously, I don't want to fall. If I fell, it would hurt. Okay, let's get into it.
We have SB1 Jake Foynes demonstrating, and at the start, the first obstacle is the parallel bars. This is to challenge your upper body strength.
Makes that look pretty easy. How many times have you done this obstacle?
A lot.
Like over 100?
Easily over 100.
The next obstacle is the low wall, where it challenges an operator's ability to bound over high walls in combat. The next obstacle is the high wall, where it starts to challenge your grip strength and your ability to remain low as you go over obstacles. Next obstacle is the low crawl.
Oh, that's really low. Look how low that is.
After the low crawl, we move into the cargo net. This is our tallest obstacle, where most people lose their grip strength. The key here is to use your legs.
That is tall.
Bro, I'm
after you finish the cargo net, you move to the balance logs. I think it's self-explanatory what it teaches.
Balance?
Balance.
Okay. Look at that.
Hoo-yah, logs.
Hoo-yah! Logs.
Next obstacle we have here is the transfer rope.
You do this twice?
You do it one time.
One time. Oh, and then you transfer. That's why it's called the transfer rope?
That's why they call it that. This obstacle is called the dirty name.
Dirty name.
A lot of people use
any of y'all
dirty name.
When they do it?
Going over it, yeah.
You made it look pretty easy.
Next obstacle is the weaver.
Oh, this one looks familiar.
The next obstacle we have here is the Burma Bridge. It's designed to replicate the bridges in Burma.
Just so some more balance.
Prepping the mind for the most dangerous obstacle here.
You ever have anybody fall right here?
Surprisingly, no. Next up is the slide for life.
Oh, so you're climbing up the platforms to get to the actual slide.
Watch your head.
That's right. And right here where you go upside down like that, that technique is the best.
Falls to the top?
Do any of y'all think y'all could do this? Man, it's making me breathe hard just thinking about it.
That was pretty quick.
Next obstacle is the rope swing, and this is the one I was telling you gets most people.
Mm-hmm. Is that a gainer? And then this must be the incline wall.
How'd you know?
It's a wall and it's an incline. Oh, plus the sign's there too. You ever get any splinters?
Every now and again.
Every now and again?
Yeah.
This obstacle is difficult because by the time you get here, your grip is so fatigued that holding on to these little ledges is really difficult.
Oh man, those are small. It's like maybe half an inch.
And the final obstacle is the bolts. It's the only thing that can touch the log is your hands.
Okay, so no legs, no head,
no butt.
No butt.
And the last three, you gotta say, Hoo-yah, O course. At the finish, touch a sign, Hoo-yah, O course, 50 push-ups.
Is that something y'all really do, or you just at? It is? Okay.
20. It's 20 push-ups.
Yeah, of course. So Austin, after seeing us demonstrate every obstacle here today, what do you think?
I think it's going to be extremely tough, especially the high obstacles. And not only are you dealing with the physical barrier of being able to climb those things, but the mental barrier of them being so tall. About halfway through, my heart rate will be at 180, 190 probably, and it's going to take a lot out of me.
So the passing time in first phase is 12 minutes, and I'll make you a deal. If you pass, we'll invite you back for more.
Okay, 12 minutes. What is your obstacle course time?
So my PR ever going through this during training is actually 6 minute 59. Every time I get out here, I'm usually averaging right around 7 minutes, 30 seconds.
That sounds pretty quick.
It's pretty quick.
Well, I'm going to beat you today.
I'd like to see that.
Let's do it.
All right, Austin, here's your shot. A lot of men who have done this obstacle course have gone on to do great things for their country. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Let's get to it. Stand by. Bust them.
No way he's gonna beat that.
Drive with your legs.
That guy
Stay low.
Stay low over.
Struggling already.
Dead hang on the rope and then slide down. There you go. Easy now. There you go. You gotta squeeze through. It's gonna get caught on your belt. It's gonna get caught in your belt. Make sure you hit it over your belt. There you go. You're good.
My booty's too big.
There you go. Slow and steady. A lot of leg drive.
Keep it moving.
What was your best time?
It's just all in your head right here.
I love that. Once you know you're alive, you know.
Nice and smooth.
You're at 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Hoo-yah, logs.
Keep it moving.
Let's go, brother. Big bound here. There you go. Dirty name.
Keep it family friendly.
Family friendly.
All confidence here. Let's go. Get over. There you go.
Hey, you're right about the heart rate.
Yeah, spiking right now. Let's breathe through it.
Keep it moving. 5 minutes.
You got it. Push through, brother. It's all technique based. body close. Almost there. Come on. Nice work.
Nice job. Dig deep.
That's a technique right there. There you go. Well, get up.
Holy smoke.
I probably made that a lot harder than what it should have been.
Come on, bro. You got it. Come on.
I like to just step on those big knots. Just take big strides.
Look to the end. So you sort of just let your hands glide along the top.
Come
and
on.
just step to the knots.
Hand over hand. Get a good bite here. There you go.
8:30. Keep it moving.
Nice. Muscle up technique. Tall guys.
Tall guys got it made.
Tall guys got it.
Don't discredit me.
I like the short king flip.
Oh, did they copyright me on that one? Did they copyright me on that? Did it go black? Can y'all see me? Can y'all see me? It is weird. Like, it's weird that you have to like stop and talk and all this stuff. That's why I stop and talk so much, Stupid YouTube. Can y'all see me now? Man, I don't know what's up with that. Like, I guess copyrighted. So it's nothing you were saying, Tom. You're okay. I I didn't let it play that long though. That's weird. That is so weird. I guess military stuff, they don't want you to show it. Like, I don't know. Oh well, I'll just erase it out of my video. No biggie. But that dude was struggling toward the end. I think I would have been struggling at the very beginning. I mean, that is intense. That is intense for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. I was trying to show y'all something different with the last part, but it always seems on Saturday nights for some reason I always get copyrighted. 10 miles every morning. Good grief. I bet you were built like a tank. Because my brother was telling me that, they have y'all taking vitamins and all kinds of stuff, and, your diet is a certain way. And I mean, you just lose a lot of weight. You get fit, you get tough. So I don't know. But guys, I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you so much for being here. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? If not, get you a bigger shovel or tip better. One or the other. Maestro, cue that music. Wow. Hi, y'all.